I protest toward heaven and earth and refer especially toward the whole land of Israel's, existing from the east of earth toward the west of earth, and existing from the south of earth toward the north of earth. Hear ye my expressions, heaven and earth. Broaden ye some ears of yourselves, heaven and earth. I am a witness that you may know and may hold some faiths and maybe some smart entities anent my lords due to a reason, whom they are them. Before they had existed, a God had not undergone a development, nor will area undergoing a development behind them. They're Yehovah. Some known entities are some saviors except them. They had announced, had saved, and had heard. A non-entity is a stranger among me. I am a witness, whom they are some gods. In this day, they are them even. Some non-entities can undergo some actions of some snatchings away from their hands. They area acting, and who entities area causing they return. I am a witness. Was an entity a god? That entity was not until Lord was. Some non-entities, who are some omnipotent entities, can make some boulders, whom they cannot lift. Lord knows none. All true creations, the well news is God Jesus is Ho Logos. Go ye, and announce ye. The earth underwent an action of a making by force, and the world underwent a foundation by wisdom, and faith stretched or spread the sky out, for the foremost, final entity's hand had based earth, and its right hand had dandled the sky on its palm to flatten it out or extend it. When it underwent an action of a summoning out toward them, they area standing together. Before the foundation of the field existed, branch proceeded from bough, for branch is the expression of boughs, and bough cherished branch with the woody body, for a kindness is a compassion and a benevolence anent an action. Branch exists within the woody body, and the woody body exists within branch due to a reason, whom branch provided its wood into the woody body, and the woody body provided its wood into branch. With the woody body and bough, branch existed in the commencement of the fields. From the woody body, branch fell into the field. I knows it sprouted from a ground in an identification of a shoots after it became a grassy body, for a grass surrounded it, and the woody body showed an affection toward it. Tree is the woody body, is bough, and is branch, and Yehovah is Yehovah Yah, is Yehovah Tzabah, and is Yehovah Tzedek is a liberty. That shoot's grassy body underwent a birth masculinely by a grassy body, and that shoot's woody body underwent a procreation by some woody bodies. That shoot's grassy body was the masculine-born fruit of grapes, and that shoot's woody body was the procreated seed of boughs and the woody bodies. Some grassy bodies saw it visibly, and some grassy bodies touched it in a tactile manner, and some grassy bodies heard it audibly, for it exists. It is a grassy body like we are some grassy bodies, and it came within a grassy body. Every true flesh simulates a grass. Every true benevolence of it simulates a flower of a field. A grass has desiccated. A flower has fallen away due to a reason, whom a wind of Yehovah's has blown onto it. Surely, a people simulates some grasses. A grass had desiccated. A flower had fallen away. The expression of the gods is staying into a perpetuity. The well news is the faith, and the faith is the well news. Mary Magdalene did a proper thing toward God Jesus, for Mary Magdalene threw a myrrh onto his body pro a funeral. In an identification of a reminders of Mary Magdalene's, I spoke anent that thing, whom Mary Magdalene did. She showed an affection toward God Jesus, and she held a faith in some announcements of the well news. Did hear ye some deceitful announcements of the well news? The whole land of Israel's, existing from the east of earth toward the west of earth, and existing from the south of earth toward the north of earth, my lords exist beyond some comparisons, are some perfected entities, are some omnibenevolent entities, are some omniscient entities, reside within heaven, do not corrupt, existed before the world existed, rule all true entities, created Adam, developed all true people of some wombs, did some signs and some wonderments, hold some authorities over all true entities, and expiate. Whenever I honors God highest entity, I expresses, God highest entity, may a honorary go toward thee. God highest entity, I trembles due to thee, for thou holds the majorities and rules heaven. God highest entity, Yehovah is Yehovah Yah, is Yehovah Tzabah, and is Yehovah Tzedek. May a blessed go perpetually toward thy name. If I worships highest entity and the God nearly, I kneels and kisses highest entity and the God. If I worships at some fronts of highest entities and the gods, I kneels and bows toward highest entity and the god. An abundance of some gods exists like many true fathers exist, for a god is a spiritual producer, and a father is a masculine producer. Simon Peter and I define a god differently. Due to some different definitions, I believe an abundance of some gods exist and Simon Peter believes one god exists, but both entities of Simon Peter and I ascended god of some gods is God highest entity. A foolish teaching of some Christians is God Jesus holds two natures, a personal nature and a godly nature. Like a foolish teaching of some Christians is the God and Jesus are some eternal entities. Upon some altars, you would burn some incenses toward some masses of some things of the sky, for you would build some altars pro some masses of some things of the sky, and you would make some idols, any true proportion things of the sky, a part of the top, pro yourselves, and you would worship them and would doest some duties toward them. You would undergo some frights due to some stars, but would not undergo some frights due to their maker, and you would give some glories toward some stars, but would not give some glories toward their maker, and you would venerate some stars, but would not venerate their maker. An abundance of some people would worship some things, which would not hold any true spiritual bodies within themselves, and would not worship some entities. But God highest entity is an entity, and does not be a thing, for God highest entity lives. A thing does not die nor live, and an entity dies or lives. Due to some reasons, whom God highest entity simulates your father and your master, undergo ye some frights due to God highest entity, and give ye some glories toward it, for the hour of its arbitrations should come. Worship highest entity and the God, who should make the sky, the earth, the seas, and the founts of some waters, in day of intermission and new moons, for the makers of earth, highest entity and the God, are some suitable entities to undergo some actions of some worshipings. I spoke those things that I might announce my announcements in an identification of an announcers, toward whom John stared at flies within the mid-sky and expresses by a loud voice, anent a scroll of disclosures of Jesus anointed entities.